your day is full of candles and cake and gifts and surprises and nugs and bongs and bowls and blunts and strains and indica and sativa and edibles and Easter eggs and bunny ears and golden eggs and Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. That's a weird transition. Wasn't planning on getting into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory at all. But it feels like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory would have some bomb Easter candy. Does it not? It feels like it, at least to me. Hi guys, did you like that weird intro? It was a hybrid. I call it the birthday / Easter / 420 intro. You guys didn't know you were going to get all of that at once. You're like, normally Shenk just picks one theme, but this pandemic version of Shenk just does whatever she fucking wants. I've gone rogue. So this intro was in fact a hybrid, and I will repeat what it was again. It was birthday, 420, Easter. Easter's a weird one, just in general. And then Easter during the apocalypse is even weirder. It's like, I don't know. Chocolate rabbits. If I had a chocolate rabbit right now, I would be a happy girl. Yeah, I said it. A chocolate rabbit that's like frozen. I just want like chocolate is what I'm saying. Am I stoned? Yes. Some of you might think, Sarah, you're stoned at home? What did you smoke? And the answer is I smoked some weed from Libra. Libra is this amazing dispensary that sponsors my podcast. They are based in Palm Desert. That's where their flagship store is. Their store is still open amid the COVID-19 crisis, and now they're offering delivery. You can follow them at Libra Shops on Instagram or check out them online, librashop.com. No, but they hooked me up with some bomb weed. Let me show you the weed they gave me. 1 second. They gave me this dime bag weed. I smoked this. I went straight to heaven. And by heaven, I mean doing this podcast intro. All of a sudden, I'm talking about birthday cakes. I'm talking about Easter eggs. I'm talking about 420. No, but check out at Libra Shops on Instagram. They have an amazing not selective. I'm really high. They have an amazing selection of weed, and all of the people who work there are super smart. Like, they're budristas. That's a thing. That's what they're called. They're budristas, are super knowledgeable. They know so much. You go in, you're like, hey, I have pain in my back. Can you give me a good CBD? They'll give you a great CBD. They might offer you a Kush Queen bath bomb. They might offer you some Breeze mints, one of my favorite edible lines. They have some of the best lines of cannabis out of any dispensary I've ever seen, and I'm so fortunate that they're sponsoring my podcast. So go ahead, check them out. They have all different kinds of memberships that you can join and perk clubs, and support them because they're supporting the show. And why not do something for a small business that helps your girl Shenk out? You know what I mean? Another thing I love, if anyone knows me, they know that I love a print, hence the cow print behind me. I love color, hence the magenta light coming in from the side. No, but I have this amazing sock company, Oh Yeah Socks, that also sponsors this podcast, Shenk. Let me show you the socks that they have. And this is just a small sample of what they have. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Alien socks. What? food socks. Okay, the alien socks are my personal favorite because one sock is black with white aliens, and then the other one is white with black aliens. And if you go to their website at Oh Yeah, which is 30HYEAH.com, and you enter discount code Sara, SARA 10, you get 10% off. And you know what? I'm finding there's nothing better than a fun sock, especially during the pandemic. Yeah, so check them out. They have all different kinds of socks for like skate, snow, whatever, slippers. They got shoes. They got slippers for kids. They got socks. I have a really comfortable pair of slippers that they gave me that are pink and they're fluffy and they have little poof balls on them. And I also have a really cute pair of llama slippers that they gave me. I'm going to show those in the next episodes. But yeah, check them out. They're fun. And like also socks make such a great gift to a friend. Give your friend a pair of novelty socks. They're at home. Everyone needs to wear socks. Plus they're cozy. Keep your toes warm. You know, take care of yourself. Keep those toes warm. Okay. Guys, we have an amazing episode of Shenk for you this week with just me. Yes, I am my own guest this week. No, but it's a fun episode. I answer some of your guys' questions. We talk about some of my favorite activities to do while stoned. We talk about what I think society is going to be like post-pandemic. We talk about my favorite app. We talk about dating comedians. We talk about it all. And by we, I mean I. I talk about it all in this week's episode of Shenk. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys are liking the podcast, please, please, please do me a favor and leave a review. I would so appreciate it. Also, please, again, check out my sponsors, follow them, give them love because they are the reason you guys still have this podcast coming to you. Libra Shops and Oh Yeah Socks. And the names of both of them and their Instagram handles are going to be in the description of this podcast. Okay, guys, here's this week's episode with me. Enjoy it. Live from pandemic. It's me, Shenk. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for continuing to listen and supporting me and watching my hula hoop live streams. Okay, enjoy this week's episode. Here it is. Guys, hi! Welcome back to Shenk from space. And by space, I mean home. And by home, I mean the extra room that I've converted into my podcast studio. And by podcast studio, I mean the room that has the piece of cow print fabric backdrop that I sit in front of and also shine a magenta light onto. Some people say, Sarah, why magenta? And I say, why the fuck not? You know, live your dreams. I always wanted a cow print studio. As a child, I thought, wow, maybe one day I'll have a cow print studio. And now with this global pandemic, luckily, I got it. Okay. It's interesting. We'll see how this new studio goes. I do plan on changing the different color lights on this cow print backdrop. If you're not looking, I'm literally sitting in front of a piece of cow print fabric. If you haven't seen my Instagram recently, then you're missing out because I've been taking all kinds of weird photos in front of this cow print fabric because it's the only thing I have. And I have literally taken this fabric and I've attached it to a backdrop. And now this is my at-home studio and I'm shining a magenta light on the cow print fabric. And I will be changing out the color, like depending on my mood, because this light changes every color. It might be green one week. It's going to be a mood cow print backdrop. Was I planning on this going into 2020? No, but that's how a bitch adapts. That's how a bitch evolves. Okay. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm experiencing this like cow print / animal print like exploration period, and it started around December and it just it's continuing to grow. As the pandemic continues to take lives, so does my animal print addiction. And the only life it's really taking is my own and my friends, because it's a problem. When you have too many animal prints, people start looking at you weird. And by people, I mean I'm judging myself. Why? Because yes, I did watch Tiger King. And yes, I do think that Joe Exotic should be freed. And I know that he wasn't a perfect human. I don't have time to get all political about it. But like, Joe Exotic to me, fucking icon. Sorry, I said it. Gives no fucks. Dresses like a true king/queen. We love him. But I got so immersed in that story that I failed to recognize I have become an animal print woman until after watching the story. And I was just literally like, yikes, none of these people are sane at all. Perhaps it starts by wearing multiple types of animal prints and then it just continues to grow. I know that right now I'm not wearing animal print, but I am sitting in front of a cow backdrop. I also have a robe that's leopard print. And I had a FaceTime session with my therapist. And when he called, I was sitting in front of the cow print backdrop in my leopard print robe. And he was just like shaking his head like, wow, good thing we're having this FaceTime session. And I'm like, this isn't a cry for help. I just like animal print. Oh, lovers, friends. Okay, I have some questions that you guys sent me. I'm going to try to answer these questions because what the hell else am I doing? My magenta light just went off. It was like setting a vibe. It was a whole thing. And if you saw it at the beginning of the episode, and by the beginning I mean 4 minutes ago, and now you don't, it's because that shit died. Why? Because I've just been blasting that magenta light all week long. Just blasting it. Just wasting the battery. Just, you know. Sometimes you waste batteries on things, and then when you need them, you don't have them. And yes, that's a deep fucking thought. I have a lot of deep thoughts. Another thought that I've had recently is, okay. Some of you out there, the way that you grocery shop upsets me. Why? Because bitch, get what you need, get in and get out. We don't have time to find the green onions that you want. Just buy some scallions. Are green onions and scallions the same thing? These are the questions I ask myself often. And I never get the answer to them. Because why? I don't care enough to look up the answer. Solo podcasts are so fun, especially when you're just like entertaining yourself, just like ping-ponging ideas back and forth with yourself. You know, it's a nice mental challenge. It really shows how one person can just thrive on their own. Nothing like a pandemic to remind yourself how conversational you can be with just yourself, right? Don't worry, guys, there's going to be more. Yes, that was a cow pun because I'm sitting in front of a cow print backdrop. I'll see myself out, and by see myself out, I mean I'll just jump out of this chair onto the floor. No, that took a dark turn. Okay, so here's some questions that I've been asked. I have them on a list. Hang on, let me get it. Okay, here we go. Here are the questions. Have I ever dated a comic and how did it go? Yes, I've dated a comic. It wasn't for me. Why? Because, okay, it's cool in the sense that like you guys are both going through the same thing. So you're experiencing life with someone who literally does the same thing as you, which is nice because comedian schedules suck. You're doing stand-up at night all the time. You know, it's hard to have a regular dating life when you're doing stand-up. And then when you meet a regular person, you're like, what are we talking about? Because my life is spent on stage, or it used to be. And now you're just a regular person. And when you're going to bed, I'm starting my night. So it is nice dating a comic in that regard. Like, you know, just being with someone who gets you and gets your lifestyle and gets your schedule. And it's nice to date someone who could potentially like ping pong ideas back and forth with you if they're a funny comic or a smart person. We like dating smart people. for that reason. And by we, I mean I like dating smart people. I've become plural since this podcast has started. I've just like disassociated and just separated. So now there's two of me. Okay. Yes, things are happening. Okay. So I did date a comic and I didn't like it because it just felt like too much in one arena. And by that I mean, like, when I'm not doing stand-up, I don't want to think about stand-up. I don't want to, like, come home and, like, be with someone else who's just thinking about the next time they're going to get on stage. I think it's important to, like, mix it up and get a different perspective. And I'm someone who gets, like, very consumed by stand-up. So having somebody who's not fully consumed in the same thing as me is interesting because there's more things to talk about. Because, like, when your life is stand-up, the last thing you want to do is come home and talk about stand-up. Or, yeah. And I do think it's hard to date a stand-up, at least for me specifically. It's hard because you guys are doing the same thing. So it's hard not to have have hurt feelings if your partner is getting so much stage time and you're not, or you had an amazing set and they didn't, or they had an amazing set and you didn't. Like, there's just so many different things that could happen within the dynamic of comedians dating that for me personally, it's not worth it. But I have also dated one or two comedians in my lifetime, and I had to take that risk to find out it wasn't for me. Yeah. Okay. Someone asked me my favorite podcasts. The only podcast that I listen to, and that I really ever really listen to is the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast. I think Duncan's a genius. He has all kinds of interesting guests from, people who are in the meditation realm, people who are psychonauts exploring psychedelics, people who are Buddhists, people who are comedians, people who are, musicians. And he asks all of like the thought-provoking questions that I'd like to ask in an interview setting. And he's just highly intelligent. And if you haven't listened to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast, I truly can't recommend that enough. Okay. Someone asked me what survivor skills I have, and I gotta be real, none. I mean, I guess I'm a survivor. I hung up this fucking cow backdrop. Does that count? I went to Sephora right after it closed. Remember Sephora? It used to be this place where you could go buy makeup while the world still existed. One of the saddest moments of my pandemic was when I drove to Sephora just to see it one last time. And it was beautiful. I think about it often. Okay, favorite place to stop for the day. Okay, if I'm going to stop somewhere for the day, I'm either going to go to the Huntington Gardens. And the Huntington Gardens are these like beautiful gardens that are located in Pasadena. And they have every type of garden. It's like a Japanese garden, a Chinese garden, a rose garden, an Australian garden, a Joshua tree garden of literally Joshua trees, or every type of fucking foliage you could imagine. And it's picturesque, and you can just walk through this like beautiful park and explore the gardens. And that's one of my favorite day trips in Los Angeles. If you haven't been to the Huntington Gardens, check that out. Super fun. It's great to have like lunch there. I mean, it's closed right now, but when it reopens, highly recommend that. I also love Malibu for the day. Personally, like my favorite type of LA day is like a beach day, Malibu. We take Topanga Canyon over. You go to the beach. You have a snack. Maybe get some ice cream. Who doesn't love a beach day? I normally, like when I'm stressed out, I drive to the beach. Sometimes it just makes me feel better to know that the beach is there. Did this just become like a self-help podcast? Me talking about drives to the beach? I don't know who I am anymore, frankly. I don't love the way this chair looks, this wooden chair. I'm very like detail oriented and aesthetically oriented. So like Right now, the fact that this podcast studio, quote unquote, isn't exactly how I want it to look is really, really affecting me. But I'm trying to power through for the people who need the pandemic content. You know what I mean? Can you tell I haven't been communicating with other people? I can just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk by myself for potentially forever. Someone asked me, what does a post-Rona society look like? So what I imagine that they're asking me is, what does society look like post-coronavirus? And now this is a question that I've actually spent time thinking about, because I have the time to spend time thinking about these types of things, like post-Rona society. And I actually believe, and maybe this is idealistic, or maybe this is like founded, maybe this is based in reality, I don't know, but I feel that like these major structures that society has had in place are going to crumble, because they already are crumbling, and we're going to have to rework the system so it's less broken and it serves more people, particularly like the lower middle class people. Because I mean, if you're a lower to middle income person right now, you're like, there's people who are waiting for food in the food lines and never had to wait for food in food lines before. So I think it's just going to restructure society, hopefully for the best. Hopefully we're going to get a better healthcare system in place, so you don't have to be wealthy to have healthcare. Hopefully the pandemic response team will come back. We won't get rid of things like that. Hopefully it'll teach us how to be more, hopefully this whole experience teaches us how to be more mindful, caring people. Maybe gives people time to figure out what they're meant to be doing now that they've lost their jobs. I mean, maybe some people's lives are going to transform for the better. I think a lot of people's lives are going to transform for the better. Maybe they're finally going to divorce that bitch or asshole they've been married to. Maybe they're going to find love. Maybe they're going to get pregnant post-corona. Who knows? I think people are changing rapidly right now. And the reason why I think people are changing rapidly is because society is changing rapidly, because we can't leave the fucking house. So whenever something happens within a society, it's got to trickle down to the people and affect the people. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to make us a more hopefully mindful environment world. Like, I hope we're more environmentally conscious globally. I mean, I know Los Angeles supposedly has the best air quality right now in the world, which that sounds like bullshit, but I did hear that on the news. And yeah, I did, happen to walk by the news because my parents do fucking live in front of the news. Okay, somebody asked me childhood Easter, what was it like? Childhood Easter. Okay, so I was born on Easter. My birthday is April 19th. If you didn't know that, now you know it. I will be doing a special birthday party on April 19th at noon, which is next Sunday. And it's going to be my viral birthday party. What does that mean? That means you go to my Insta Live at noon next Sunday. I'm sure who knows what I'll be doing, but I'll be doing something. Probably smoking weed. I'll probably have comedian guests stop by. I'll probably have some musician guests stop by. And I probably at some point will hula hoop. So save the date for that. Anyway, so someone asked me what my childhood Easter was like. I got caught up on my birthday because I was born on Easter. So my childhood Easter, I always remember being happy because for the most part, it was like right around my birthday time. But I have a specific memory of one year my mother hired an Easter bunny, like a woman dressed up as an Easter bunny. She paid the Easter bunny to come to my 5th birthday, and we were all playing in the backyard. And my cousin at the time, I mean, I guess she's still my cousin now. My cousin unzipped the Easter bunny's Easter suit, and I saw a naked lady in there, and that's the most traumatic Easter memory of all time. So when you ask me what my Easter childhood like, my Easter childhood was like, that's the first thing that comes into my head. It was just like this naked woman that was in this bunny suit screaming, begging these 5-year-olds to leave her the fuck alone. But yeah, no, my Easter as a child was great. My parents are nice. I had baskets. I had, the eggs. There was egg hunts. There was egg dyeing. I feel like, though, my mom was always like, that's an outside project. She would say that about anything she did that was like kind of messy. She'd be like, that's an outside project. Even now, like the fact that this podcast studio is set up in her house, she's like, that's an outside project. All right. Somebody asked me my favorite stoned activities, and I'm happy to answer these. My favorite stoned activities: 1, podcasting; 2, writing; 3, hula hooping. Love hula hooping high. Could do it for hours. Just put on some good music. If you haven't been watching my hula hooping on my Instagram live, you're missing out. I have an LED hula hoop. I light that shit the fuck up. And I entertain, guys. For like 45 minutes, I'm hooping. I do song requests. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Follow me at Princess Shenk on Instagram to tune into that. Also, tune into my birthday party, April 19th. Okay, someone asked my favorite stoned activities. So I said hula hoop. I said podcasting. I said writing, right? I love writing jokes high. It's one of my favorite activities in the world. And I also have some other stuff. Okay, coloring to music is fun for me. I have like this jumbo like Alice in Wonderland coloring book, and I have like my favorite type of colored pencils. I don't know what they're called, Prismacolor, I think. Yeah, they're really good colored pencils if you're someone who's looking to dive into the colored pencil realm. They're a little expensive, but they've lasted like years, and they have like the best colors. And I like getting high and just coloring in my Alice in Wonderland coloring book because it just feels like a mindless activity, especially during a pandemic. Walking, I do that high. I go for a walk every day. I walk about 5 miles. Bubbles. I have a light up bubble gun that I got, and I will be doing that on my live stream coming up pretty soon. So that's going to be exciting. And I also have a tie-dye kit that I bought, and I'm going to be tie-dyeing on my live stream. I like doing that type of stuff high. I also have some Shenk stickers that are coming soon. They're me in a mask, and they're holographic, and I had them designed by my friend Sweatshop Merch on Instagram. Shout out to him, Edgar, for designing them. They're really, really cute. So if you want to support the podcast, that's a great way to support it. I'm going to start selling these stickers. I should have them by the end of the week. So check back with me for those. Okay. Somebody asked me this, and I thought this was an interesting question, and I don't have the answer to it, and I'm just going to talk it out. Okay. Would stand-up specials be better if they had openers? I don't know. I've never thought of that question before. I mean, I do think that, like, I would like to have an opener before doing a stand-up special. Maybe they're not going to be on camera, though. But, like, somebody to warm up the audience. That seems like it'd be a good idea. I mean, if it was up to me and I could have anybody, if I could do a special, I could have anybody open up my special for me. It'd have to be Brody Stevens. Having Brody Stevens warm up your audience for your special, like, it doesn't get better than that. So I think that if you have the right opener, I think it makes a difference. It relaxes the people, gives them what they want, laughter. Okay, favorite app. Somebody asked me what my favorite app is. Spotify, because I love music, especially now. It's like I have a new appreciation for music because it's fucking soothing. I've been through some shit, and let me tell you, what calms me down is music. Yeah, I've said it several times, but music really, really helps with mental health, and it gives you a good release. And I've found that it's been a way for me to keep calm and, pull it together. A lot of people have also asked me, what kind of weed do I like? That's a common question. So for me personally, I love a sativa strain. Why? Because I'm a go, 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 go person. Like, I don't like being high and like unable to move. I like being high and podcasting. I like being high and running errands. I like being high and hula hooping. I like being high. I won't say that again. But let me show you the strain that I smoked today. Big fan, big fan. Hang on. Da, 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 da. Sorry. That was so annoying. Have you ever gotten annoyed by yourself? That just happened to me. Okay, so I smoked this. This is called Dime Bag. It is a sativa. It is a banjo strain. It is sweet, piney, and zesty. And I actually got this from my friends at Libra Shops who sponsor this podcast. And check them out at Libra Shops. Let me tell you, I smoked this today. I can't open it. I can't open it because my hand is occupied with a microphone, but it is sweet, piney, and zesty. And it has 16% THC. I love a sativa because I like doing my errands and doing my stuff high. I like writing stoned, doing stand-up, not high. I miss stand-up so much. Okay. Also, guys, my lovers, my friends, a friendly reminder. I have this amazing company that's been sponsoring my podcast. They're a sock company called Oh Yeah Socks. You can follow them online at Oh Yeah Socks. That's 3 zeros HYEAH Socks. Follow them online. And if you go to their website, ohyeah.com, and you enter discount code Sara10, SARA 10, you get 10% off. And they've been sponsoring the podcast. And look at how cute the socks are. What? Jawsome? And that's like a little shark. Don't mind my nails. There's those. These ones are the ones I'm actually wearing right now, but you can't see because the chair. And one sock is like a black with white aliens, and the other one is white with black aliens. Those are fun. There's also these weed ones, which are one of my favorite pairs. It's a smiley face, and the eyes are weed leaves. Those are fun. And then there's these ones. These are the hangry socks, and these ones are like, WTF, where's the food? Hangry. So they have all kinds of fun socks. Check them out. Oh, yeah. And check out Libra Shops. Thank you to both of them for supporting this episode of Shenk. My lovers, my friends. Okay, so here's another question that a lot of people have been asking, and that is, how did you know that you were supposed to do stand-up? You don't know. You think you know, but you don't know. And honestly, I'm in an interesting position right now because I've spent the last 10 years of my life doing stand-up, and now suddenly I don't have stand-up. So it's been an interesting transition in a way for me to find out what else I like doing. And I do like podcasting, and I do like cow print. So here we are, staying alive, figuring it out as we go. Stand up, don't do it unless you're sure you want to do it. And even then, ask yourself again, are you really sure you want to do this? Are you really sure you want to give up your 20s to be on the road in some shithole? And if the answer is yes, then fucking go for it. But if for 1 second you think the answer is no, don't do it. It's not worth it. And that's coming from, I feel like for the most part, I've had a successful stand-up career. Who's to say? It's hard to look at your own stand-up career. Somebody asked me, I have a question right here. This was a question about what was my favorite Kill Tony minute. So a lot of you have been following me since I was a regular on the show Kill Tony. And Kill Tony is a stand-up podcast where a panel of comedian judges, celebrity comedian judges, judge new comedians 1 minute of stand-up. And so I did that every week for 2 years with Kimberly Congdon. We were both regulars on the Kill Tony podcast. And so every week for 2 years, I had to write a new minute of stand-up. And a lot of my minutes were very observational, because observational comedy is my favorite. I find that it helps me escape reality if I can just like focus on the details of life that other people are ignoring. For example, like I have a joke about toothbrush and how, have you ever looked at somebody's toothbrush and realized how angry they are? It's weird trying to say a joke that you have. But anyway, so a lot of my comedy's in that observational voice. And Kill Tony helped me kind of figure out that was my voice, because every week I would just do new observational material on something. And it gave me the opportunity to be creative. And yeah, so my favorite Kill Tony minute that I did, I want to say I had a bit that I did on scones. And I did it, I want to say, in like 2012, would it be 2012? It may have been. It may have been like somewhere between 2013, 2014. Wow, time's really flying. Nothing like time to make you feel old as fuck. Somewhere around that time, I did a bit on scones, and the comedian that was on the panel was Bert Kreischer, and he just started laughing so hard, and he is the best laugh I've ever heard in my life. And I want to say that was like a really great memory. That was one of the highest points of Kill Tony. Also, when Doug Stanhope was a guest, that was great, because I had a minute on dustpans, and Doug Stanhope, I felt like he really liked it, and he told me that my comedy seemed like some weird type of OCD that I have, and I felt really seen. So either the episode with Stanhope where I talked about dustpans, or the episode with Bert Kreischer on Kill Tony where I talk about scones. One of those. Okay, let's get back to the list. Childhood Easter. Somebody asked me like why Easter candy sucks so badly, and the answer is I don't fucking know. Peeps. Yikes, Peeps. I don't even have any words on Peeps. Like, I just keep saying the brand name over and over again, like something is gonna like come to me and it's all going to be cleared. But the truth of the matter is I have no clue how Peeps exist as a brand. No clue. I don't know how they've survived up until this point. Like, do they make money the rest of the year, or are they solely an Easter candy? I wasn't planning on talking about Peeps for this long, but I have the time. So that's just how this podcast is going to go. We're going to get in and out. We're going to explore different subjects we didn't even know we had the intention of exploring. I mean, when I sat down, I was like, I'm not going to be talking about Peeps. Psh, here I am talking about Peeps. You don't know what's going to happen when you're doing a solo podcast. You don't know the direction that shit's going to go. I'm sitting in front of my camera, holding a microphone at home, looking at myself in front of a fucking cow backdrop, asking myself, where did it all go wrong? No. I'm just happy to not have a mask and gloves on. That's one of the benefits of being in your own house. No masks, no gloves. Also, I have this new habit I've developed. I power walk every day to a bakery that is open because it is an essential business. And before I go into the bakery, I put on gloves and a mask like a fucking boss. I walk in, they know me by name because I wear my heart sunglasses that have like rhinestones on them, and the rest of my face is covered with a mask. So the only thing they can see are my rhinestone heart glasses and my mask. And they love me there because I'm like one of their only customers for the whole day. They go, Sarah, and they run over, and it makes me feel like I have friends. And they run over and they greet me and they ask me what they can get me, and I say, an oat latte, please. And then that's the extent of my socializing for the day. Then I walk around the neighborhood. I walk around the neighborhood a lot. Like, I've been trying to walk like 5 miles a day. Now, here's the thing. Okay, what's up with these families? These families that got every kid on a bicycle, they take up the whole street now? No. If you have a family, single file that shit. This isn't a free-for-all. This isn't like your family scrimmage. This is the street that I live on. Can you guys get onto the fucking sidewalk? Is it that hard to pull it together? I get that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, but you don't own this street. And also, you're violating my 6 feet distance rule. I don't know. Are you guys disinfecting your mail? My mother has been disinfecting the mail. Catch her spritzing the mail with hydrogen peroxide almost every other day. Also, for some reason, since this whole pandemic started, I've been eating so many potatoes. I don't even like potatoes. You know that shit's fucked up when you're eating potatoes. It's like when the Irish were suffering, I feel like that's what they ate. We're in a famine. Wasn't there something with a potato famine? It's like another potato for dinner. That's the whole dinner. Potato. Not a good sign. Doesn't scream thriving. It screams, oh, times are tough. We had a tater for dinner. This is the podcast you never knew that you needed, the Shenk solo pod, where she just sits down, and by she I mean me, where I just sit down and I break it all down for you. I say, this is what's been going on in my life, and you know what? It could be a lot worse. How could it be worse? I mean, I could be pregnant in a pandemic. That would make this worse. Yep, that's about it. No. Okay, the line at the grocery store in Los Angeles. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize that I was going to a VIP nightclub. Just trying to get some milk. Didn't realize I had to stand outside a line that wraps around the corner to get some milk. Didn't realize. Also, some of you are shameless with the shit that you're putting in your cart. You're just shameless. You don't care how many items you're taking of the last of things. I saw this bitch with 3 things of hot dogs, and guess what? I came to the grocery store for hot dogs. Why? Because hot dogs are one of the only things that sound good this pandemic, and they're easy to make. You can grill them. If you haven't grilled a hot dog, I can't recommend it enough. You know what I don't fuck with? Boiled hot dogs. Why? Because as a child, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth, because this is a safe space, and that's what this podcast is about, the truth. Okay, that being said, lovers, friends, as a kid, growing up as a kid, there was this thing called Hot Dog Day, and that was on Wednesdays, and these nuns, because I went to Catholic school, these nuns would boil hot dogs, and they would feed us boiled hot dogs, and the whole hall would just smell like hot dogs. And I never really recovered from it, and for some reason boiled hot dogs just remind me of being a child and having the shittiest hot lunch on Wednesdays. Just boiled hot dogs, boiled by old nuns. It smelled like old lady nuns and hot dogs, and that combination of scent is like, it's like formaldehyde and beef boiled. So gross. Wow. What do you think? I was going to say, what do you think all these parents are doing? But then I thought about it. I'm like, they're like giving up. Because if I was a parent right now, I'd be like, honey, where's your iPad? Take your iPad and go outside. Yeah, and come back and see mommy in like 2 hours. After the iPad's died, then we'll do a snack. That's what it would be like if I was a mother. No, but it does, like, I never thought about that before. Because, like, it's like, okay, being a mom's one thing, but being a teacher / mom / wife, I'd rather just be a podcaster. Which means I'm on the right track, guys. I'm doing the right thing. Am I giving myself a pep talk in the middle of my own fucking podcast? Maybe. Sometimes you just got to give yourself a pep talk. Maybe you need me to give you a pep talk. And if that's the case, email me. Shenk, SHENK.pod@gmail.com. Do you need a pep talk? Do you need fashion advice? Do you want to sponsor an episode of Shenk? What do you need from me this pandemic? Let's connect. Email me. I'm around. If you're enjoying this podcast, leave a review. I love hearing from you guys. So DM me, reach out to me, email me if you have any, podcast questions. I'm going to be having podcast guests. This was just a solo pod, but I will be having guests. I want to get Kim Congdon on. I want to have some Zoom sessions turn into podcasts. So stay tuned for that. And Thank you guys for continuing to support the show. If you're enjoying it, please leave a review. Reviews help people find out about it. If you like it, give it 5 stars, leave a review, tell your friends. That would really help me out. Also, support my sponsors, Libra Shops, at Libra Shops on Instagram, at Oh Yeah Socks on Instagram. Shop Oh Yeah Socks, discount code Sarah10. And check out Better Box TV and Speedweed. And guys, please, please, please stay safe. Join me for my birthday party, April 19th, on my Instagram Live at noon Pacific Standard Time. And continue to support the show. If you're enjoying the show, leave a review. And also, if you want and can help out, Venmo, Sara Weinshenk. Yeah, I'm not touring, so any extra helps. All right, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, Shenk.